What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So for today, I wanted to talk about what makes a car special. What makes you like a car more than another one? And in my mind, it's not just because one car is better than another one. It's the memories that you have, the memories that you made with the car. So today I wanted to, we're gonna take the car for a drive, and I was gonna share my top 4 memories of this car, and I got some good funny stories. I think you guys are gonna like them. So we'll take it out for a drive. The car is still on E90, and everybody always tells me that it's really hard to cold start a car on ethanol, so we're gonna start the video off by that. Let's see how the car starts. And yeah, it didn't actually start that great, so I guess everybody is right. But all right, so we're off. You know, I was just thinking, actually, the reason my car may have started a little bit harder than maybe it would have normally is I just remembered. So my car has actually broken 3 throttle position sensors in the last 3 months. Basically, the engine keeps torquing too much, and the throttle position sensor is smacking into my camber plate up front. I am working on a fix. I'll do a video on that later, but I did just put a new throttle position sensor, and maybe the tune just had a little issue seeing the new sensor. So that could have been why it started hard, or maybe that's just the way the car starts on E90. I just don't have enough experience, I'll be honest. I just don't have enough experience on this tune with this fuel to really kind of know what it's like. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. So I'll do the 4 memories in chronological order. The first of the 4 memories, the best memories I have of this car, have got to be the day I bought it. And I know I've kind of talked about the story a little bit in the past, but I'll try to go into more detail. So I had my 2011 5.0, it blew up. I kind of knew I wanted an 03 Cobra. I really wanted a Sonic Blue one because, you know, that's just the color I had seen online, and it was the color for me. I love Sonic Blue. I'm biased, I guess, but I still think it's one of the prettiest colors sold of any car. So anyways, I went to SVT Performance. There's a forum, and I swear to God, the very first Cobra that I PM'd the guy was this one, and it was out of Florida, which was 1,600 miles away. I think he wanted 24 or 25,000 for it, which is really stretching my budget. Especially, I knew I would have to take time off of work to go get the car. I'd have to fly down and drive it back or tow it home. I knew there was going to be a lot of hidden expenses. So while I talked to the guy and we had figured out, you know, what could work, it just didn't work. And, you know, I said, you know, reach out to me if you had trouble selling it, but I'm imagining you're gonna sell this car with no issues. And I went on to look at other cars. I looked at a DSG one with only like 7,000 miles, really local to me. There was a yellow one, there was a silver one. I probably looked at about 6 of them. And I just couldn't get the very first one out of my head, which was this one. And I remember probably like 3 or 4 weeks had passed, and I went to just send the guy another PM, like, hey man, just so you know, I'm still interested in your car, but I'm sure it's sold. And he replied to me, he goes, yeah, I'm not making this up, I'm really sorry. I'm getting a deposit on the car later today, I'm selling it. And I was pretty disappointed. I knew that maybe I should just have committed to it at first, and I could have had the exact one I wanted. But it is what it is. Well, Later that day, the guy calls me up. He says, hey man, look, this guy's dicking me around. He still hasn't sent me the deposit. If you can send me $500 right now, I'll sell you the car for $22,500. And I said, done. And it was just a miracle. You know, the chances of me messaging him randomly the day he's supposed to get the deposit, it was just meant to be, you know? So that is my first memory. You know, something I just keep going back on and smiling when I think of the car. My second memory I have of the car is, so when I got it in 2011, it was making 438 wheel. I put the porta blower on 478 wheel. And we did this, so up in New Hampshire, we have what's called the Kankamangas Highway. It is a beautiful stretch of highway through the White Mountains. It's an amazing drive. And there was a local car group that I was a part of for a few years. And every year we do a fall cruise through the mountains, something like 200 or 300 cars. We get Make-A-Wish involved. You know, you got to do like $25 entry. We do a raffle, and you know, they bring the kid up, and it truly is a great feeling to donate several $1,000s to a wonderful organization, and we get to have fun with the cars at the same time. So this was the first cruise I did in the car, and it was just a lot of memories because I ended up racing two people. There was a rear mount turbo LS, and I'll put the video in right now. There was a E-55 AMG. I forget the mods on that one, but they were just two really great runs. And, you know, it was just easier to have fun, Mexico fun, when the car was only making, you know, under 500 horse, just because there's so many more cars at that range to race. Now when you're making 900 wheel, there's really not that many cars to race, at least up in here. I mean, I know there's some serious cars out there, and there's cars that make this look like a stock V6 Mustang, you know, and I get that, you know, but maybe back then there was definitely a little bit more fun, at least with racing the car. So that cruise, that was probably my second best memory. It was just such a great time with all of my friends. I had like just got the car. I took 2 wins back to back. It was just a really great time. My third memory, and this is probably the best of them all, would be the 2014 and 2015 Ocean City, Maryland Cruising Week. Been to Mustang Week a few times, but let me tell you guys, the 2014 to 2016 era of Cruising Week blows it out of the water. It was by far the best car-related events I have ever been to, and likely ever will go to. So you go there, it's basically, it's really an event for like old muscle cars, but what it really turns out to be is a street car takeover. So Ocean City, Maryland is basically like an island. It's 3 lanes of traffic one way, 3 lanes of traffic the other way, on an island, I don't know, it's probably like 5 miles long, half a mile wide or something like that. And it is all sorts of high horsepower cars, stop and go traffic.
We're next to a GTR, and you might have to go from a dig.
No, it's not gonna happen. It would be retarded. What's done to it? Not that you tell me the truth anyways.
What's done to it?
It's quite a bit.
Okay. What do you make for power?
About 7.
I'm 7'2", but I'm only 7 to 2, not 4.
Give it some. Come on.
Everybody's fooling around. You're having a really great time with all of your friends. And I remember taking a couple pictures that went not really viral, but you know, they definitely got shared a lot. And I remember we called it Snake Pit. There's like 8 or 9 Cobras at the 7-Eleven. It was such a great time. I met some of my best friends now at that, you know, car show event. And for that, I'm very thankful. And those are the memories, like I say, that you think of the car that make your car great. So at that cruise week, there are 2 specific races that I wanted to share. And I think you guys are going to love these stories. So we were with our 3 buddies, me, my friend Colin, who has a Sonic Blue convertible, and my friend Kyle, who had a Sonic Blue coupe. Now, the 2 coupes, my friend and Kyle's, were both, mine was Whipple, his was Kenny Bell. They're both 700 wheel. And the day before the event, all 3 Sonic Blue Cobras are cruising down the road. We're doing the speed limit. There's very little traffic. We're not holding anybody up. We're just cruising 3 wide, enjoying and having a good time. And I remember all the way in the right lane, in the bike lane, this brand new CTSV sedan, like the latest gen one, cut us off, went into the middle lane and slammed their brakes on. And in the middle lane was my buddy's convertible. On the outsides, it was the 2 700 wheel cars. And I just remember it was just perfect. Me and my buddy both downshifted to second. And I don't know how we orchestrated it, but it was just perfect. At the exact moment, all 3 cars went wide open throttle. Kyle and Mai's car, they are obnoxiously loud. And this guy had his windows down. And we just took that guy right to Gapplebee's. He had both his window down with 2 loud, identical looking Cobras that both gave him the sauce, probably like 40 to 90 real quick. And it was just so funny because that guy took off. He didn't talk to us. He didn't look at us. He was just so embarrassed that he just got smoked by identical cars at the same exact time. And we actually saw him later on at an LS meet, and he just came up to us. He's like, your cars are gay. And I'm like, all right, you know, cool story, dude. You just got smoked by, you know, 2 13-year-old Cobras, but good looks, man, good looks. So that's a good memory I have. The other memory is that same exact night, we're cruising along the strip, everybody's doing burnouts, okay? We're antagonizing even the bus driver to do a burnout, and the bus driver tried to do a burnout, and obviously it didn't work. And I came up to this really, really clean Honda Civic coupe, and had really big tires in the front, big drag radials, and I knew this was going to be a seriously fast car. I mean, every car there was really fast. Anyways, he had a fuck your V8, you know, little stick figure on the back of it. I ended up asking the guy, I'm like, hey man, you know, 40 roll, $100. And he was so dead serious. He goes, listen, man, I just don't want to steal your money. And I'm like, you know, this is probably a really fast car. And I said, you know what, man, I respect your build. You have a nice night. You have a nice time. And later that night, I saw him again. And I said, hey man, you know, look, let's just race for fun. Let's do, you know, 40 for fun. And, you know, he was from the area, so he knew where to go. And we went out there, and this guy was super respectful. I mean, the next year when my car broke down, he came to my condo and gave me all his tools and any help I needed. He brought them to me. So this guy was super respectful, so I'm not gonna, you know, dog on him. Anyways, we did like 2 quick runs, and yeah, I put a good 2-3 cars on him. And, you know, he just said, man, I've never lost to a V8 before. And he goes, honestly, he goes, I thought your car was stock. And I'm like, stock? It's got 315 drag radials in the back and the exhaust is loud as hell. You really thought it was stock? And it's just, like I said, a funny memory that I still have to this day, was all those Ocean City memories. And I really wish it was the same, but it's just not. The cops, and, you know, partially rightfully so, really have made that event very car unfriendly. You know, I just saw what H2O, so H2O is like a Volkswagen import show, but it's at the same place, Ocean City. There was like 300 people arrested, 100 cars impounded. I mean, they were impounding like a Fiesta ST with lowering springs, like the least modded car you could possibly have, and they're impounding it. So that's kind of ruined the idea for me of going back, but maybe one day. So the fourth and final memory that makes this car special to me would probably be the recent cam swap in the build, which actually stemmed off of Ocean City because my friend Colin, who had the convertible, he had a set of nasty comp stage 3s, and while his car was the slowest at 500 wheel, you know, he had an Eaton on the car. His car sounded way better than Kyle and mine, and I was just like, I need cams. And you know, I went to Todd Warren. He got a perfect set of cams. Did the springs, head studs, oil pump gear, kind of a lot of other. I did rod bolts, a lot of little upgrades at the same time. And you know, for factors that were really out of my control as well as my mechanics' control, you know, the build kind of took a little bit longer than him and I were both expecting. And I still remember that night when we cranked the car up for the first time after timing the motor, getting the engine back in the car. It was just a glorious moment. You know, later that week, I'm cruising the car as carefully as possible on the startup tune, the base tune, driving it up to Performance Dyno, and then the car lay down 931. It was just so rewarding to see all the hours of research and labor put into the car, into the build, to all come together and exceed all expectations I had of the car. And I'm gonna remember that for a while. It was just such a great feeling. And that is probably my fourth and final best memory I have of the car. And like I said, it's what car you feel is the best is all personal. It's all your own opinion. But I believe it's the memories you have in the car that lead you to liking it more than other cars that may, you know, may be better, but just not to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna be shooting some more video in the future. I hope you guys subscribe, and thank you so much. Take care.